Chris Bowen has been busy wasting our time and money with his carbon abatement programs, forcing businesses to reduce emissions and using public money to pay for that. Now, they're also putting in place measures to combat objections to wind farms and transmission lines. In other words, Bowen is trying to shut people up about their properties being destroyed by renewable energy projects. I don't know how you do it. This green network of bad ideas is just exhausting, but surely that last one, trying to stop people from complaining, is a pretty nasty thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've suddenly found that farmers and landowners generally finding a voice in this and saying, wait a minute, these power lines are actually disrupting our agriculture, and the wind farms, they look terrible, and they do impede us in actually spraying various things. We don't like them, and they started making concerted efforts to stop them and to put objections in. And of course, the only efforts to do things like that, to stop people building things in the past, have been from Greens, and they're tolerated by the Labour Party, which doesn't really care about productivity. But now we're finding farmers who are objecting to their own basic policy, the policy aspects that they preferences, the policy preferences, and they don't like it. So they're now trying to stop that happening and to some degree succeeding.
Well, I'm not surprised, considering that Bowen's wonderful green dream for Australia is getting held up in litigation, because pretty much everywhere they try and put either an offshore wind farm or an onshore wind farm and solar farm, everyone's going, hang on a second, these things are horrible up close and really, really bad for the local environment and area. Look, something alarming happened last week. 1,000 nickel miners are out of work and 3,000 more are headed the same way after BHP decided to pause Nickel West. Now, this has had a catastrophic repercussion it will have catastrophic repercussions for the remote towns and their businesses which support these mines, and miners are obviously their primary source of income. And Alan, we're not saving the planet by closing off these mines and getting rid of Australian jobs, because the nickel's still going to be mined, but just mined in Indonesia instead. How devastating are these closures for Australia, and is this just one of many stories we'll see on the horizon?
Absolutely. The government is feeding in $10 billion per year into renewables, basically feeding in $10 billion either of taxpayers' money or of ratepayers' money, electricity consumers' money, to actually bomb coal mines, bomb coal power stations, to make them unproductive, basically to subsidise renewable energy. And so when you subsidise that renewable energy and force the exit of coal, we see the prices rise. And every time the prices fall, they say, "Oh no, that's only this basically shows that we're succeeding. Wind is the cheapest form of energy. We're increasing that. We're succeeding. The latest numbers show it." And indeed, the numbers for early January did show a dip in price. But late January, and of course we mentioned the weather-induced power crises in February, have seen those prices rise again. Prices at the generation level are 3 times what they were before the madness took place. And they, in the end, feed into the prices, not only of we as consumers, which we've seen increases of 25-30%, but especially to the prices that miners pay, or industry generally pays. And when you say, "Oh, look, that basically the prices have gone up, it's only 10% of their costs," or whatever. This is a 10% of their cost, which means 100% of the profits are made by the businesses concerned, and they have to go out of business. They go and relocate to Indonesia or the Philippines or wherever else. Nickel is the present one in the news, because nickel prices have been falling as well. But we are very vulnerable in aluminium, which has been the sort of showpiece of Australian industry for 20 or 30 years. All of the major 3 aluminium smelters we've got are all into hospital care at the moment, ironically being subsidised by governments to protect them from the subsidies, which are causing the malaise as a result, and resulting in the high energy prices which they can't afford.
Yeah, it sounds pretty much like we are subsidising foreign countries to do the mining for us because we think it's virtuous, but at the same time making ourselves poorer so we don't have as much money to throw into the subsidies which we're giving to other countries, making them richer. This is a cycle that is not going to end in prosperity for anybody except for our competitors around the world.